You are listening to another Third Coast Nerds podcast. Oh my.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Third Coast Nerds podcast. I am Chad.
And I'm Edward.
And it's just the duo today.
Yeah, just us. Everybody else is gone. Don't know what, they're in San Antonio? San Antonio, I think.
Yeah, San Antonio, family vacation.
Yeah.
In case we had our first video podcast last week, and in case no one else picked up on it, Kyle and Neil are brothers.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it is kind of hard listening to them if they're brothers sometimes. Because, I mean, Neil's more talkative. Kyle, he kind of adds here and there. He laughs a lot more. But no, actually, Neil laughs a lot more than Kyle does.
Kyle is really good about fact checking us.
Yeah.
About 2 subjects after we've said something wrong. And so we'll come back to it like, oh, yeah, okay.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's his... That's what he brings to the group. He fact checks.
Yeah.
You know, make sure everything's correct before it goes out to our masses.
Yeah. You slung heat on the last podcast you were on, man.
Oh, yeah?
Like, it was just like, bah, this is everything. This is the 70s. Like, it was good.
I know. I was like, man, because we were talking about what we wanted to touch base on and everything like that. And I was like, oh, we didn't even get to talk about Star Trek. So
yeah, that was on. We do make brief notes about what's going to be on the podcast. And, sometimes we just don't get to everything, or sometimes we'll have something. We'll come up with something else to talk about, and that will dominate the conversation. But
oh yeah, I mean, it was also listening to some of the things. I was like, oh wow, I guess we just kind of transformed into the different conversation as in the middle of when we were talking. But I was like, I thought it flowed pretty well, though. I mean, I was pretty excited about it. It was pretty fun. So I'm glad to be back, and get to talk about some more horror things.
Yeah.
I think from the last time we talked, we were talking about some of the B horror movies, Wolfcop. You brought up Honeymoon, and then I think we circled back to Zombievers.
Yeah, Zombievers.
Well, we from my understanding. Whoops, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah. So we were talking about Wolfcop, and from my understanding, you did get a chance to watch it, and I think that's something we should really touch base on because that movie is amazing.
It was delightfully horrible.
Oh God!
In all the right ways.
Yes.
I mean, it was like 1996, 3 a.m. on a Sunday, UPN. Great bad.
Oh man, it was amazing. I from the beginning. I mean, anytime you wake up. Or in the movie, when the guy wakes up and he doesn't know where he's at, and he looks like the character that he's going to be playing, it's going to be good.
Yeah. There wasn't any arc. There wasn't any like origins of how he got there.
Oh no, yeah. They're like, no. You see him? He's an alcoholic. He just woke up. He looks like a wolf. He's going to be the wolf cop.
It was true to form. Like he woke up like this.
Yeah. He's like, this was the role of his life right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And brief warning, a lot of this podcast may end up being spoiler cast a little bit. So, alerts in case you want to know. We may get into a lot of TV stuff. Wolf Cop, definitely. Honeymoon, definitely. But yeah, Wolf Cop, it's skipping kind of far ahead in the movie, but the entire car construction scene.
Oh,
where
he pimped out his ride, basically.
Yeah, where he takes the cop car and turns it into the Wolf Cop mobile.
Oh, man. It was amazing. I thought it was awesome where he put that little W in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Yeah, he's ready to roll, man. One of the few things that I found really interesting, and it can only happen in B movies, right, is where the guy transforms into a wolf and he remembers his whole personality.
Yeah.
In every other horror movie we watch or a book we're reading, the wolf, nobody's aware of their wolf personality, nor are they aware of their human personality. They don't carry those characteristics into their new form.
Yeah.
Oh, not this wolf cop.
It wasn't an Incredible Hulk. We have to talk like I'm angry all the time. It was there. He just didn't always remember. I mean, it could have been the alcoholism.
Oh, most definitely. I'm pretty sure he drank himself to stupid. So,
because as soon as he transformed into the wolf, and you got to see the scene where they sort of broke the difference between the two characters. He's just like, booze.
Yeah,
give me booze.
Yeah. Liquor donuts. Come on, that was amazing. Yeah. I'm like, how can you keep on supplying this guy alcohol? Put it in donuts. what a cop needs. You know?
If you had the Taco Bell the donut holes, the cream cheese filled donut holes.
Oh, you mean the crack?
The crack, yeah.
Yes, I've had Taco Bell's crack. It is delicious.
It's so hard. Like I can come over here sometimes. Like Neil, before he comes over to the podcast, I think a couple of times he stopped and got those. You can't turn them down. You can't turn them down. You can be full. You can be disciplined as you want to. You're not going to turn down Taco Bell crack.
No, not at all. And you know what's amazing is they have them in they sell them in 6-packs and then or 12-packs. I'm like, what? Who are you kidding? Who buys the 6-pack? Really, who buys it? The crackhead on a diet.
Oh yeah, and typical, like true to fast food form. There's a secret button somewhere on the register that will let them fill up a 44-ounce cup full of those for you. Oh
man, I wish. I hope so. That'd be amazing. Then I'll be fatter than I am.
You didn't know that? Like there's a friend of mine, Kenneth. He finds every possible way, internet research, word of mouth. He finds every possible way to hack everything.
Oh, like the secret menu stuff?
The secret menu stuff, every underground little trick, every, knock twice on the table and you'll get this. Right. I remember we all used to work together and the name will be withheld. I don't know, for legal reasons. I don't know if we can say it or not. Either way, I still don't want people to know. But we used to go to lunch together and we spent like a good, you remember how short lunches were there sometimes?
Yeah.
He spent probably a good 10 minutes arguing that there was a button combination at Jack in the Box that would let them fill a 44-ounce cup full of fries.
Well, see, I was going to bring that up because me and my friends found out in high school that Mickey D's would do that for you. They would fill up their 64-ounce cups.
Yeah.
With fries. So we would just get, we would get 20-piece nuggets and we get a cup full of fries, man. I mean, good Lord. It was heaven.
The Whataburger hash browns on the sandwich thing that he pulled is still, in my mind, legendary. I don't know if he's going to listen to this. That story is my favorite. Or I wouldn't say story. I witnessed it.
It happened, right?
It happened.
Yeah.
I witnessed it. We go through the drive-thru, and it just wasn't jiving. So we went inside, and this was the combination that he delivered very fluidly, as plainly as you possibly can say. He's like, here's what I want you to build from the bottom to the top. Bun, meat, cheese, 4 hash browns.
Okay, 4 hash browns.
Cheese, at a 90-degree angle to the previous layer of hash browns, another layer of 4 hash browns. Cheese bread.
Wow.
Just bam, cheese bread. And the whole explanation because we went to the person at the drive-thru, they said no. We went to the person at the cashier thing up front, they say no. The manager comes out and he's trying to explain well, we can give you hash browns, you can just put it on the burger yourself. And he's like, no, not going to work. Here's the reason why. Cheese needs to melt, needs to be the mortar that holds together your hash browns. Otherwise, you'll get hash browns falling off your sandwich by the time you're halfway through.
Yeah, sound logic. I agree.
That's very sound logic. Yeah. And by the time he gets to the end of the whole engineering concept about why the sandwich needs to be built this way from the factory, the manager just gives up and he just goes, build the man his sandwich.
How much did that sandwich cost, though?
I can't even remember. I mean, I'm sure I would argue, and I'm sure he would argue as well, that it was well worth it.
Oh, for sure.
Just for having it your way.
Do it, yeah. For them to get it done is pretty much priceless. Anytime you can mess with somebody and make them make you what you want. I mean, I still believe that we should still be able to get what we want because we're paying for it.
Yeah,
we're customers. But I also understand that, there are rules, I guess, to the types of things, limits, I guess would be the best way. The limits to how we make things. You can't have somebody go in. Actually, one of my friends keeps on bringing up Chipotle, right?
Uh-huh.
Their chicken is delicious. I'm pretty sure that's probably the best chicken I've ever had. So he's like, I wonder if I could just get a bowl of chicken. I don't want anything else, just chicken.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can do that. I'm pretty sure they'll charge you somehow.
You can actually. One of the funniest things. I mean, we're all trying to work out. We're all trying to get healthier. One of the funniest subreddits for all of this secret information is like the dieting subreddit, and they will tell you how to order these things to get a certain amount of protein minus everything else, and still get them to make it for you. Because if they make you a burrito bowl, you have to get. Like, they'll try to force you into other ingredients. Otherwise, they'll charge you for the full burrito bowl.
Right.
But you can ask for double meat, and they'll sometimes give you more than the allotted double meat standard.
You do, like, half chicken, half beef, and then you tell them, oh, double.
Yeah.
Half chicken, half beef, and you're getting more out of that.
Yeah. And it'll be somehow like the same price or cheaper than the standard burrito bowl if you order it like in this certain way.
Right.
Like, there's cheat codes to all this. Like, I love the fact that you can game genie life.
Just hacking life, man.
Just hacking life, Konami code everything.
Right.
The soda machine trick.
The soda machine trick.
Oh yeah. At the office again. I don't.
where you're just stealing from your employers.
Just stealing from the employers. He found some. It was going around. There was a rumor going around that there was a button combination you could press to get into like the programming menu.
Like doing some Simon Says kind of thing.
Doing some Simon Says, beep boop beep boop beep, and you could get into the programming menu and you could make the currency, like the currency equivalent or whatever it would ask for, you can make that equal 0.
Oh, nice.
To where you could push the change return button and then hit one of the buttons and it would just spit out a drink.
Wow, never heard of that.
Yeah. I don't know. I never saw it in practice, so I can't confirm.
Man, if this was 10 years ago and I found a machine with just Mountain Dew, I'd probably be dead right now, but I'd die happy because, 10 years ago, that's when we were all working together. And
I started there in 2002.
I was there at 2003.
Yeah.
So, actually, it's been 12 years. So,
yeah, I've had this conversation with a lot of people that we've worked with together in the past, like, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And we all realize, like, we've known each other for, like, 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
It's
that's
crazy. Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about that all the time, considering me personally, because I was married prior to working there, and I actually got divorced there, and that's how I met Kyle. Kyle kind of got me out of my little divorce funk. He's probably one of the people who like saved me, really. I mean, I was like in this dark place. I would go to work. I was working overnights at the time.
Yeah.
So I would go to work, get home at 7 o'clock in the morning, but I would have a case of beer and a carton of cigarettes, and I would stay up drinking, smoking, and then I'd crash out at like 2 o'clock, wake up at 6, go to work, do it all over again.
Yeah.
So then I met Kyle. Kyle was he was just a young guy back then. I think he was like 18 or 19.
I want to say he was younger than that because I think
No, you had to be 18 to work there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because when I was 18 when I started there.
Yeah, you had to be 18 to work there. So I think he was 18. And he was telling me about all these house parties that him and his brothers and his friends throw and stuff like that. And he kept on saying, hey, you need to come out. You need to come out. I'm like, nah, man, I'm just going to go home. And then so I think about the second week of him saying, hey, you need to come out. I'm like, all right, man, let's go out. So we went out. He got me hammered. Okay. And from there, man, I mean, I've been hanging out with everybody now, know? So yeah, Kyle was like the guy who got me out of that little thing. So I always appreciate that. Yeah. And then, I'm thinking back, I'm like, man, 12 years, man, 13 years for some, man, it's been a long time. And now we're all doing this thing here.
Yeah. As you side of your eye, look at the camera.
Yeah. Trying to share our geekdom, with everybody else, and I think that's awesome.
Well, it's funny how deep everyone was into this, but it seemed like very few shared, what we were all into. Like, I was very much into film back then. Everything independent I could get my hands on. And Curtis, I don't know if you remember Curtis that worked there. He was only there for a couple of years, but we got so far as I wrote screenplays. I wrote several screenplays.
No, I actually remember hearing about that.
Yeah,
that you were writing some screenplays. I didn't.
The moment it all shattered, I sent it off to a local a short film competition here in Houston, and then I learned the hard way that the entire Houston short film, or the entire Houston film community, is a bunch of thieves.
Okay.
After I submitted my script, I learned, like, someone told me roundabout, like, I was trying to follow up, like, hey, what happened with the competition? Because you didn't hear anything about it anymore, and it was for a 15-minute short film.
Okay.
So, I mean, it wasn't like I was slinging heat. I wasn't that great. I was still very new to writing, but it was like the fourth complete work that I had done. And I was like, I felt good about it. I submitted it, and it was kind of horror realm-ish.
Okay.
In hindsight, completely influenced and ripped off The Darkness from Top Cow. But instead of mobsters,
right,
and like a grown dude being like the lead character, it was a little girl. It was like a little I think I aged her maybe like 12 or 13, like preteen.
Okay.
But she was getting bullied at school, and she could like summon demons from the shadows.
Oh.
So she covered her bully's eyes with her hands and showed her everything that she had in her powers, what she could pull out of the shadows or whatever. And there was this whole back and forth sequence with that, and her showing scenes from like her bedroom and her parents trying to deal with all the nightmares that she was apparently having, and trying to get psychiatrists to convince her that she didn't need, like, her bedroom was full of like flood lamps, and every possible corner had a light in there somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
And so there was like this continuing effort for the kid to try to explain to the psychiatrist why turning off these lights was a bad idea, and the sequence continuing, going back and forth with the bully, and eventually you finally get to the end where it had the big reveal and the turn for the character. And I felt good about it. Like, I mean, I banged it out pretty quick because of the deadline. When I heard about the competition, the deadline was only like maybe 2 weeks away.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So between working there and, you know, the relationships take time.
Well, yeah, you're creating a character. You becoming intimate, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like an actual relationship, human relationship.
Oh,
like
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was in a serious relationship at the time, and she just didn't understand. Like, she kind of supported it up until like the 5th day, where I was just at the computer for like 7 hours straight. Like, she just didn't understand that. And I was like, well, you liked reading the other stuff. Like, I'm going to give you more good stuff to read. Just let it go. For like, I got to hit this 2 weeks thing, because I wanted it to be really polished, because it was like the first time I was submitting it to a competition.
Okay.
A bunch of people around the office had read some of my stuff, and they liked it. So I submitted to this competition, and then nothing, no feedback. Didn't get any follow-up emails again. I mean, leading up to the competition, I probably exchanged maybe 30 emails in the 2 weeks leading up to the competition about submission guidelines, what the work needed to be. I submitted a sort of a tender a little bit. It was just kind of like a 4-pager synopsis. Like, this is what it's going to be. You know, what do you think about this content? Does it match your competition? Yes. Very positive. Actually got notes back from somebody.
Oh, wow.
On the synopsis. So everything.
So there was a lot of correspondence.
There was a lot of correspondence. And then I submit the screenplay, and nothing. And
dead silence.
Zero communication. I'm getting no emails back. I'm like, what is going on? And about 5 months later, one of the other guys I met in the local Houston film community says, hey, you got to see this. And it wasn't anywhere near the same. Like, the characters had aged a little bit. The whole plot around it changed a little bit. The whole demon thing had changed. Like, a lot of the elements had changed, but like, a lot of my dialogue was there.
Okay.
And the exact sequencing of the story, the transition back and forth between this outdoor scene, this indoor scene, and the evolution of this character, all that pacing was the same.
Okay.
And I'm like,
wait, is this how The Ring was made?
The Ring?
The little girl crawling from a well.
I could buy that coming from a 15-page screenplay. I really could buy that, because that whole video, the scary video sequence, that was like a good half hour.
Oh, for sure, man. That was amazing. I loved it. It scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, when you first saw it, we went to the theater and saw it, and that dead silence with that slight VHS like whine.
Yeah.
Everyone was sitting in their chairs like, everyone's like, I don't know if I should be watching this. And nobody moved. That entire sequence. Like, there are a few situations where I've heard absolute dead silence for a dramatic moment. And that was one of the movies where you didn't hear a peep.
Yeah.
And
See, I didn't get to watch it in the theater. I watched it at home, but I had the ambience down. You know, I had the lights off. You know, I had the kid was asleep upstairs. Me and the wife were right there watching it, and we were just so quiet. And when she came out, my wife jumped, and which, you know, I'm a guy. It didn't scare me. You know, no. As soon as she grabbed me, man, I jumped. I was like, "What?"
I've had that in movies where I've completely zoned off during the movie, and there will be a scary moment, and the date I'm with, like, grabs me, and that scares me. I don't even know what happened in the movie. Like, I zoned out.
Right.
But I jump, so I was like, you were scared? You were scared? I was asleep. I didn't even know what was happening.
Yeah, right. So, okay, so we're going back.
Yeah. Let's circle back. One of the things I loved about Wolfcop so much was that it was all pretty much...
Well, I meant, let's go back to what happened to your script, man.
Oh, the script. Oh. Thanks for directing and keeping me on track. What happened was nothing happened. I didn't get any feedback, but one of the guys, because I mean, basically, you all judged each other.
Oh,
you
okay. So this was a peer kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like a peer review kind of thing, and everyone sort of took a vote based on, you know, the quality of the content. Everyone shared notes like, "Hey, this sounds good. This looks good. Maybe do a second draft on this." And a lot of the guys got callbacks for second drafts. And I was kind of confused because one of them messaged me and he's like, "Hey, I remember reading your script. There's a second draft that reads a lot like what you wrote, but some of the elements have changed, and like the title was different, and but all of the elements, you know, the core elements were the same. He's like, it's too weird." And I never followed up on it any further than that. But I supplied tons of notes. I mean, detailed notes for like at least 40 screenplays. And cut to the chase, like a good maybe 5 or 6 months after that whole process,
right.
I get a link. Someone sends me a link, and they're like, "Hey, you should watch this." And it was the movie.
Oh,
so like this entire like this, it was probably a little bit over a year that all this unfolded. And just a really strange process. And so I started, some of the people that I got friendly with in the community or whatever, the other competitors that we just struck up a conversation because I really liked their work. And I was questioning like, "Hey, can I just be a grip on set? Can I watch how the process goes?" Because there's actually a really deep Houston film community.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it's unfortunate that this one element of it tends to steal work. I don't know if that's still the case. I mean, funny enough, I still get emails from this group.
Still providing them feedback?
No, they're always looking for free labor, though. Like, always looking for free labor. And it's just a weird process.
What, they didn't take you up on the gripping or anything else? What happened there?
Well, they was all like, "Well, you can show up, but we can't guarantee that you'll be involved in any way." And it's like, I'm not looking to become like an actor on set. Like, I'm just watching, like, I want to scope out what cameras you're using, what techniques you're using. You know, I wanted to get all the technical stuff behind the scenes because for a while, like, Curtis and I were going to go out and shoot a movie. Okay. And remember Dante?
Burks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dante and Lester, like, I think I wrote...
Chili.
Yeah. I was working on a screenplay with one of them or both of them. I think both of them. I think all three of us were doing something. And it was going to be a comedy, and it was going to be, you know, just fun. Okay. And we were just going to go out and just shoot it. So we were looking at buying cameras. We were looking at all this stuff. And we were like, this takes a lot of money. This takes a lot of effort. You got to get other people to show up and want to do it.
Right.
Like, so the entire process, it just ended up falling apart. But it was like a 2-year long conversation. So we wrote, like, I gave them stuff. They gave me the notes back. And it was just this entire back and forth. They wrote hilarious scenes. Lester, man, one of two things. I want to see this guy get on stage because I know he'll kill. Mm-hmm. And I want to write with him so badly again.
Well, you know, he's rapping or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Like, the guy, like, we know a lot of people that are just like multi-level threats all around. But yeah, I really want to do something with that guy again. I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah,
but,
I haven't seen him in almost 9 years, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 2006 was probably the last time I saw him.
I think like the entire party split when everyone left that job. Everyone split
pretty much. Okay, so Wolfcop.
I love the fact that aside from like some really obvious Adobe Premiere CGI effects, everything was practical in that movie. every effect was practical.
Oh, that movie! I thought. I mean, realistically, I'm looking at this and I'm comparing it to some of the A-listed movies, horror movies and stuff like that, comedies.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna say I had more enjoyment from this movie than most movies I've gone to and paid for at a theater. I mean, I was rooting for him.
Yeah.
I was cringing. I was emotionally invested in this movie, and I thought it was amazing. I thought it was awesome. Probably one of the best B movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact there were so many things to love about it. I mean, I loved his first on-screen change, his first on-screen reveal as his change, because I mean,
in the bathroom,
and the fact that the entire thing happens, the entire morph.
Yeah,
starts with his penis.
Oh, good Lord! Yeah,
it was absolutely hilarious. We're gonna start there.
And I was watching that, and I felt so much pain as he was going through that change, and I'm like,
but you're like, it grew 4 times as big, so you're all right. You're doing all right.
Be like, I could be a wolf too. Yeah. I'm down with that. My wife would appreciate it. Also, the hot bartender. Come on, man.
Yeah, that was her character reveal at the end.
Yeah, that was very heartbreaking and disappointing, and I was ashamed. I felt ashamed because I mean I had strong feelings. I was like, man, this is spank bank material. I'm like, this is it. I mean, this chick is hot. And then she changes. And I'm not going to ruin it for anybody. You guys should watch it.
Yeah, you should watch it. Because, I mean, there really isn't a character arc.
Oh,
there's no character arc anywhere in the movie.
Man, this was so straightforward.
Yeah.
There is no plot line twist, nothing. They're like...
It was perfect. Yeah. It was the perfect formula. Like, all right, dude's a wolf cop. You know the title coming in. Right? Let's not mince words. All right, bam, he's a cop. Bam, he's a wolf.
Yep, that's it.
Bam, bam, he's a wolf cop now. Hit it, quit it, done.
Right.
And the entire thing. I love the fact too that they found a town that hasn't changed since like 1992.
Man, you're giving it 92? I was going with like 86.
It could be 86.
I mean, we're looking at a town that I'm pretty sure was around when the first Red Dawn came out with Patrick Swayze. That's when I saw that town, I was like, is this the same set?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
I mean, down to the cars, down to
everything.
Everything. The bar. I say 92 mainly because of the way the bartender dressed. Because like that was very 92-ish. You know, denim skirt. It felt very early 90s.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one. I can see that. Yeah, because they didn't have the big hair either. So
it wasn't big hair, but it was still high waist.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right.
Doing the visual math on the entire formula.
Yeah, I'm like, let's see, 92. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like everything, like the cop. I mean, the fact that he had a revolver.
Well, I mean, he was a cowboy, though. I mean, really, he's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather give my alcoholic a revolver rather than an automatic.
Yeah. Well, then again, like Rick Grimes in The Walking Dead had a revolver.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
It's very Wild Westish.
So then we go to Honeymoon.
Honeymoon. I saw the trailer for this. I read some of the things about it, and I was very intrigued by the sort of plot line. I don't like that they just M. Night Shyamalan the whole turn.
Yeah, man, talk about some hyped up movies.
Up movie. I think I don't know if you'll agree. I think the secret to any good horror movie, like real legit horror movie, is you only give the audience like 5% of what actually is going on. Like that's what. To me, that's what builds a good horror movie.
It depends. I mean, if we're talking about like a creature feature or if we're doing psychological thrillers, it really depends for me.
Yeah.
Right. But with this movie, it was sad. I mean, I was pretty sad because we were talking about the wildling from Game of Thrones, Rose Leslie.
Yes.
She was in this. This is her. I guess this was her first starring movie. Maybe
I think it is one of her first starring roles.
Let me see here. So she's she's hot, man. And I was excited.
That's the selling criteria.
I was excited about it. I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. Shoot, let me go ahead and get this as quickly as possible, because I think as soon as we left the last podcast, I went to go watch it. That was the first thing I watched, and then I was kind of disappointed. It does have probably the most disturbing scenes of any movie I've ever watched. It scarred me.
Yeah,
and I think that's really good for a movie. You know, leaving some lasting impression on your on your audience, because I'll always remember this now.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the most shocking scenes, probably since I watched The Exorcism. The
Exorcism of Emily Rose, or
no, like the original Exorcist.
Oh, The Exorcist. Okay,
did I say Exorcism?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, the original Exorcist. Yeah, probably one of the most disturbing. Just not so much in terms of like the graphic nature of it.
Okay,
but just in terms of what's going on. Like, you kind of do the math. Like, oh wait, what? She's doing what? Like,
yeah,
and when you kind of get. I think she acted it out as well as you could have, knowing where it was going to go. Like the scenes where it was just her, and that's where I think they should have left it. Like, don't reveal what's behind it.
Right. What was their motivation, or what was driving them? Right.
If you know, okay, something up with old girly, you don't know what's going on, and I think they sort of dragged it on with the two. Like, first of all, if you a dude and your wife tripping on the honeymoon, you're gonna be like, we're gonna go.
Oh yeah,
we're going.
I didn't even understand his apprehension in this movie. I was like, "Come on, man up!
Yeah,
it's time to go, man." I'm like, okay, I've woken up twice to these bright lights. It's
not even that far. Like, okay, she has amnesia. She's got like some weird mark. We found her like naked in the forest.
Right.
She doesn't recall any of this. So there's clearly something. Oh no, big time wrong.
I was sleepwalking.
Yeah,
but we've been together for a while, and you've never sleptwalked before.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, and then now she doesn't want you to touch her. I'm like, no, these are some telltale signs, man. Unless you and your woman had some problems the previous nights, especially on your honeymoon, it's I don't know, man. He was really annoying to me, and then plus the whole like when he was trying to, when he was tripping out with the kid from the restaurant.
Yeah.
He just, kept on going off with the, oh, you're cheating on me kind of thing, and he's going to go confront him and stuff like that. I'm like, really, man?
That's the math?
Yeah.
That you solved that equation and you arrived at cheating?
Yeah.
Like, it could have been like an aneurysm, could have been like, there's some serious stuff medically that could be wrong.
She got bit by a snake, dude.
Yeah. She got, like, dude, the snake had 3 fangs, so that's even like a more better snake. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah. We're dealing with some anaconda out here.
Yeah. Didn't even, dude, your table.
Oh, my God.
I got to correct you, man. I got to correct you. I hit the table too sometimes, so sorry, people. Podcast. But yeah, the entire thing, like, oh, the snake didn't even like stay with the same thigh. He turned right.
Yeah.
Like, he went for the other one. He's like, oh, there's one that's just as delicious. Let's go there. But the entire reveal, like, I hated it so much, because if you just played in that area where no one really knew, and you kept going, because I think she played that character really well. The back and forth between the consciousness of her real like human person and what this, we'll call it what it is, alien symbiote, like what this whole influence of this alien symbiote is trying to like take control and zombify her and sort of recite these things. And I thought that was excellent, where she's like writing all these things down, and when she gets confronted with that questioning from the husband, and she just checks out and starts like
she just keeps going down the list. Yeah,
just goes down the list. I was like, oh man, that's a great scene. He didn't play it as well as he should have. It could have been because of bad directing, could have been because of bad story. But I thought the way she played that entire character from start to finish was tremendous, up until the point where she was like in full alien makeup.
Yeah, no, I thought she did a really great job. It was just the story that really fell apart near the end. Well, exactly at the end.
Yeah,
it was such a dud at the end. I was like, man.
Yeah, and then the cut, yeah, the whole boat thing, the anchor thing. Like, I mean, the by the time you get to that point, you're like, okay, this is the way it's going to end, and
and you're resigned to it. You're like, okay, I just spent an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's like just about every Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
Since
Lady in the Water. Oh, God.
that part where he stops trying and goes, here's what the story is.
Yeah, right. The village
just gives it to you. Yeah, one crane shot destroyed a great movie.
Yeah,
and from that point on, you're like, it's the dumbest movie ever. Up to that point, I was into it, man. Like I was heavy into The Village.
I was just thinking, last M. Night Shyamalan movie that I thought was actually good was The Devil. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the whole thing in the elevator.
Yeah,
see that one?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's probably his best movie. Then again, I also love Unbreakable. So
Unbreakable is good.
Yeah, which wasn't really a horror movie, but it's an amazing movie nonetheless.
So many of his movies have like really great scenes, really suspenseful scenes, and draw you in. Even as corny as Mel Gibson can be sometimes, I was into Signs up until the whole water thing. Like up until the point where you actually see the alien and you're like, oh man, like for real, dude. Because that one slight reveal where they're showing like the footage from the news and you see the alien walk between like the two buildings in the alley.
Yeah.
Like, dude, everything stood up. That was
so freaky, man. I was
every hair stood up on end. I was like, holy business, man. Because like if that was real life and you saw that on the news, you'd be done.
Yeah. No,
I'm not going into work tomorrow. Screw work.
Yeah.
I'm going to the grocery store. I'm going with guns. I'm buying up. I'm getting all the bread, peanut butter, and jelly you can imagine. Whatever canned goods are going to get me to the next. I'm going to Mexico. I'm out.
Well, see, I don't think I would go to Mexico because the whole newscast was.
It was Mexico. Okay, maybe not Mexico.
Right? So I'm not going to Mexico. I'm going to Canada. Nothing ever happens in Canada. I don't ever remember any major crisis happening in Canada. That's where I'm going, Canada.
Was it free healthcare and no aliens? Yeah. Sold.
Yep, that's where I'm going.
We got some French Canadian chicks too.
So Honeymoon. If you guys have some time and you guys really like the Wildling and Game of Thrones, Rose Leslie, it's worth watching. Just be prepared to know what you're going into.
Yeah, and I'll go in a little bit of a side rant too. So many of the actors on Game of Thrones, I so don't want them to get typecast because I think they have good range, and I think they could carry on better roles. If I were going to start from a blank slate and cast like an original 5-member X-Men, I think she'd be Jean Grey.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, that'd be an amazing Jean Grey.
Yeah, not going back to like the school where they're kids.
Yeah, no.
Let's deal with some of the content of say like the 60s, the mutant registration stuff. Let's get into some of that stuff. Mm-hmm. I think with a sort of, early mid-20s cast, I think she would play well.
Wasn't Rachel Hunter a redhead also? Jean Grey's daughter?
Rachel Hunter.
Was that Rachel Hunter? What was her?
I'm thinking of like a model Rachel Hunter.
I am too now.
Right?
That I said it. Yeah. No, it was Jean and Scott's daughter who came back from the future. You remember she was a mutant hunter. Was she a redhead?
Yeah, Rachel Summers. Rachel Summers.
There you go.
Man, what was that character's name? I'm looking it up right now. Sorry to take.
She became the Dark Phoenix.
But did she not have a character name?
No, I don't think so.
No character name?
Not that. Because
like their son was Cable.
Wow, that's a reveal from me.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure because I think I still have the either the Astonishing X-Men or the Ultimate X-Men where they show that whole storyline.
Okay. Yeah, with her, with Rachel, she was known as Rachel Grey, Phoenix, Mother Ascani, Bright Lady, Alzaran, Somerset, Hound. Well, she was Hound because she was used for, hunting down mutants during the Sentinels and stuff like that. The Celestial Avatar, the Cosmic Avatar, Rachel, and Revenant. But Phoenix is where I knew her from.
Okay,
and I think she was a redhead if I'm not mistaken. And I actually think Rose Leslie would probably be a great Rachel Summers. Giving her that the Dark Phoenix aspect of it, because I mean, I know everybody's, going off the X-Men movies and stuff like that with Jean Grey when she turns into the Phoenix and everything like that. But I don't think a lot of people remember that her daughter was actually the Phoenix too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. I still see, man, what was that lady's name who played Jean Grey in the
movies?
Yeah.
Famke Janssen?
Oh yeah, there you go, Famke Janssen.
Yeah,
yeah.
Maybe I'm pronouncing the name incorrectly. Who knows?
It works for me. I know who you're talking about.
It was like a fam and a K-E. I don't know.
I think she did a great job as Jean Grey, but
I did too, and I think dude fella McFacenstein.
McFacenstein.
The dude with the face, the guy that played Cyclops. I can't remember his name. The actor that played him, I think he did a great job too.
Oh yeah, I thought he was a great Scott.
James Marsden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did a good job too. I think that entire cast, for what it was pretty good. Even with the goofy CGI Blackbird and the black leather costumes and everything. I mean, it was a product of the early 2000s. That was that was where we were going. I think for what it was, it could have been worse. It could have been far worse.
A lot worse. Oh man, I mean, Fantastic Four. Anybody?
Fantastic Four. Go back to that same era and remember Hasselhoff as
just Hasselhoff in anything, right? Like, okay, come on, man.
Hasselhoff in Eye Patch, Nick Fury.
Oh God, that was so bad.
Yeah, and the actress from the Jet Fighter TV show.
Jet Fighter TV.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up because by the way, Cable is Nathan Summers. He is the son of Scott Summers and Madeline Pryor, Jean Grey's clone.
Oh, see, I didn't know that one.
Boom, Wikipedia.
Yeah, there you go. You just learned me something.
That seems to happen with the last podcast you were on and this one too.
Yeah, man. Shoot, I'm glad I'm being taught something. That's cool.
You're teaching me stuff too, man. But if you go to, it was 90. It was that late 98 TV movie, 1997 maybe. With the Nick Fury Agent of Shield.
Oh yeah, that was,
David Hasselhoff, Lisa Rinna, and Sandra Hess. Sandra Hess was in this TV show that I was obsessed. Pensacola Wings of Gold.
I've never watched an episode of that.
It was great along with Jag.
I was going to say, wasn't that like just a bad Jag?
It was just a bad Jag. But both of them used like the same fight sequences, the same aerobatics fight sequences from Top Gun. Nice. Both shows. And it was great because you would watch the dog fights and they would have like the same F-14 banking shot like, at least 7 times in the series. It'd be the same exact shot. You're like, oh, this is so beautifully bad when you could spot it.
You're like, yeah, I saw that one before. Yeah, okay.
But that show, like, oh man, Netflix is great and horrible for so many reasons, but all these shows that you have fond memories of, don't ever go back and watch them again.
Oh man, talking about that, I remember when I got my first Netflix account back in 2007. I think 2007, 2008, when they first went online.
Yeah.
Before they were just physical, send you out stuff. And when they first went online, I remember they had Ice Pirates. If you've never seen Ice Pirates from the 80s or 70s, late 70s, early 80s, oh my God, that movie is amazing. Yeah, but don't
1984?
Yeah, there you go. With
Robert Urich?
Robert. Yeah.
Robert Urich?
Yep. That movie was beautiful.
Angelica Houston was in this?
Yes. That movie
Ron Perlman was in this.
I'm telling you, man, this movie was awesome.
Awesome. Valanche. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, they don't have it on Netflix anymore, so... But that was like the first movie I was like, I wonder if they have Ice Pirate. Yes, they do. I watched it like 3 times. It was so bad. It was so bad. But I had so strong fond feelings of it, and it just brought me back to when I was like 8 years old. And I'm like, this movie's awesome.
Well, since we got this is kind of like a B movie themed podcast with everything. There was BTV that was glorious too. We kind of that was Pensacola, Jag, all those shows.
Okay.
The sort of what was it? It was the WB before it was the CW. right?
Yeah, it was WB. Then it was something else before that.
I can't remember what it was before that, but they had this block of television shows like on Sunday afternoons because it used to be there's a reason why I love Danger Girl. I love campy spy crap, right?
Right.
The Pam Anderson show.
Oh, the one where she was a spy with like 3 other chicks.
The fake spy.
What was it? Weren't they models or something like that? That was.
I can't remember what it was. I can't remember the whole plot behind what their characters were. But
you know what's funny is though, before you even said that, I was actually Googling.
You were thinking about that?
Pamela Anderson, and I was like, what was the name of that show? And I'm going to give it to everybody.
VIP.
VIP. There you go. Yes. Yeah. So it was about them when they were models and stuff like that. They fronted as a model agency and they were spies or something like that. Or
what? It was or
something.
Bodyguards. They were bodyguards.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were like personal security bodyguards or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think like the two were like actual legit. They weren't spies. I don't know where.
No, yeah.
I don't know where I went down that road.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I agree. But
it would be VIP, and then you immediately turn to the CW or the WB for the action pack, which was like,
the action pack block. I remember
action pack
that.
block. So here it is. It was for a time. It was Hercules and Xena,
right?
And then it switched to the back-to-back action hour with Jack of all trades and Cleopatra 2525.
Oh, I never seen Cleopatra 2525.
Oh, it was a god awful show. But Bruce Campbell was in the Jack of all Trades show.
Trades, yeah. No, I know that one. I love that show
because it was like shows like that, like The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
Oh wow, that's
taking you back, man. Right?
That is taking me back, man. What else? There was the Young Hercules also was around the same time, and Highlander. The TV series.
Yeah.
They used to have that all the time.
What was the other one with Lamas? Lorenzo Lamas.
Renegade.
Yeah. That whole that everything from channel 20 to 39 in Houston. Whoever's listening to this outside of Houston, I feel bad for you because there was some great bad TV. And there was one channel I never found where it came from, but on certain nights, with the temperature just right, it was like channel 4.
Okay.
Somewhere, I don't know where it was beaming from. Never found out where, but like you could find some of the best movies on that channel like at 2 in the morning because you couldn't get it during the daytime.
Right.
I read up on like all sorts of like atmospherics, so the reasons why you couldn't pick up TV shows. Or my grandpa told me actually, he's like, well, just because of the density of the air and whatever. Whether it was legit or not, he's just like, yeah, stop hunting for this channel because it doesn't. No one believed me that this channel existed. Right. I was like, I just watched Teen Wolf on the show on the thing last night. Everything except for like the last sequence because it was like 4 in the morning, it was like 5 or 6 in the morning. The sun started to come up and like it just started to fizzle out.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
the solar rays were interfering with the signal.
Yeah. But also like that era. It's almost like we have our own little Tarantino era. Like he has the Grindhouse movies that he's hunting down and buying up all the original reels for, and we have all these TV shows that no one cares about. No one cares about anymore. They're not on DVD. They're not making it to Netflix. Remember Viper?
No.
There were so many great TV shows, man. Like it's so when we went to Comic Palooza last year and they had the Shield panel.
Right.
Thought the Shield panel was great. Neil kind of caught me up on the show, and I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a shot. I'll watch it. For some reason, I just hadn't got into it. I watched the first episode, and I'm like, dude, this is just Team Knight Rider.
No.
Like, you drop Agent Coulson in the middle of Team Knight Rider and just make the cars not talk. Like, you just make the cars humans and give them a giant airplane.
No, man, no.
I know it's not that. But, like, first impressions stick with you. And, like, the first impression was, it's just Team Knight Rider, man. Shoot.
Well, see, I thought Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the first episode, was a little slow, but once they introduced Sky to me, once Sky came, I was like, yeah, I'll watch this. I don't care where it's going. I'm a simple man, You put a pretty woman in front of me, I'll watch. My wife knows. Somebody walks by me, I'm sorry, baby.
But the funny thing is like, Ming Na is the better sell for me because, like, she's attractive, but we can tussle. You know what I mean?
No, see, I don't want a woman that's going to fight back. I just need her to be pretty.
Whoa. That's sounds a little
Well, I mean, if you met any of the women I've been with, and yeah, you'd agree that they can't fight back. My wife would probably.
You're gonna get punched.
Yeah.
You're gonna get punched a lot. I think she can handle herself.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's a fire inside that's gonna. Yeah, you're gonna hear about that one.
I know. I'm in trouble. All right, so we got two more things. Eating Games, which is a game shop down here in Houston, in Humble, actually.
Yeah.
This Saturday they're going to be doing a free RPG game day, basically. Yeah. So that's basically they're going to have a bunch of tables set up and they're going to do gaming. I think there's going to be some door prizes, and I think Chris Garcia is going to be there for a little while.
Yeah, a lot of folks that are sort of in the circle. A lot of our buddies are going to be there. You're going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence about whether or not I'm going to be able to make it or not. But I'm a pre-integration era gamer, where it was a clear delineation between these are CCGs and these are tabletop games. Like there was no fusing of the two.
Right.
And so now when I ask about tabletop, it's like, oh, it's just all these things. You've been playing tabletop for like 20 years. I had to actually explain this to Kenneth.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's like, what are tabletop games? He's like, can't you just say Magic? I'm like, dude, it goes a lot deeper.
Yeah, right.
Because like now, like at Comic Palooza, you go to the tabletop room, like the gaming room, and I didn't see any Magic in there. I think I've maybe passed like one or two people on the fringe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, we are outnumbered now. Like you ain't getting any.
Yeah.
You're not getting any quarter from tabletop gamers.
The board game nerds are gonna hunt us down, man. They're gonna convert us.
Yeah, because like I never dove into that game. So when it was what like. What's the name of it? You painted the figures and they had tanks and everything like that. It was basically
Warhammer?
Warhammer, yeah. That was all I knew of like tabletop games.
No, I agree. That's what I thought tabletops were too. Before
Yeah.
I got into this whole, I like to play board games thing in this world. I thought that was tabletop. There was CCGs, and then there were board games. Right?
Yeah.
There was 3 separate categories, but no, apparently not.
So like when Neil said like, oh, we're gonna have a board game now, I'm like Monopoly?
Yeah, right.
Like we're gonna break out Mousetrap? Because I still don't know how that game works.
We were just talking about Mousetrap today. Are you in my head?
It was always the same thing. You knew someone. I never had it. I never had Mousetrap.
I've only played Mousetrap twice. I didn't own it either.
Yeah.
And I've only played it twice. All I remember is it took forever to set up.
It took forever to set up.
And
But remember, every time, I don't know if this was your experience, every time I would go to a friend's house where they had Mousetrap, they didn't know how to set it up. So I figured out how to build it.
Yeah.
And then it goes time to play, and we're like, we don't know how. I don't know
any of this works.
I don't
know. No, me and my friends, what we did was we would set it up, and then we would just start throwing our figures at the trap. We didn't play it.
See, like, what can Rube Goldberg this thing? What can make this happen?
Yeah.
But that entire experience, no, like board games, it was Trouble, it was Sorry,
Candyland,
Candyland,
Chutes and Ladders,
all that. Yeah, those were board games. But now, so we do the podcast from Kyle's house. There are 2 closets in this house. Well, probably 3, I think. I had been coming to this house. I've known Kyle just as long. We've just had the discussion about how long we've known everybody in this circle. He opened up the vault one day. I didn't know this existed. That dude has games on games on games on games. And both Neil and Kyle are like encyclopedias of this stuff. Like it goes deep. And there must be, I don't know, maybe 100 games, like board games, whatever you can come up, whatever you want to call them, tabletop games.
Tabletop games.
There are like 100 of these things in just the first, like the first coat closet. There's no room for shoes.
Right.
That's not happening. And then you go to the guest room closet, and that is stacked with Magic cards.
Oh yeah, yeah. Both of them, they're collectors, man. They'll buy up. Once they say, hey, I'm going to get into this, they're all in, so.
Because it was a very different mindset from when I was playing Magic, because it was all about competition to me. You know, I didn't care about modern. It was all standard. So whenever you had a block phase out, sell everything.
Right.
Or it would just go into the binder and I wouldn't think about it again. And all I would do was chase the cards. I just chased the cards that would make me win.
Exactly. I chased my wow, I just went blank as to what they're called. What is my deck, basically, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever style. Because, like, I stopped playing Magic. I played it in 2003 to about 2005.
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't get into, what was it, the 9th edition? I didn't get into that one. I didn't like it. So Kamigawa or one of those, I can't remember.
Yeah, Kamigawa.
Yeah.
I played heavy. So the three of us, remember Brandon?
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, he was here for the tournament. And actually on a Tapcast, I'm going to have to upload those soon. We actually do this other series called Tapcast, but you haven't seen it show up on any of the podcast networks so far, just because we didn't have an outlet for it. Like we tried a couple of other things before all this took off. So those will be coming up in archives soon. You'll get them on YouTube. You get them through the normal channels as archives. But we had... Kenneth and I went hard chasing after this Pro Tour qualifier, and we were ranked quite well in Houston. But it was like this whole like racket. Like you'd go like, oh, this card shop's doing Friday Night Magic. It's you could do like 2 shops in a row if you could get out fast enough, because one shop would start at 6:30, the other shop would start at like a little bit later, 9 o'clock. Like, oh, if we can pressure them and get through the 6:30 fast enough, we can go to the other shop. And then there was another one that ran Pokemon on Friday night, and they moved their Friday Night Magic to Saturday. Okay. So I was like, okay, we can get 3 tournaments a week and just bang through this. We were playing like every draft, every pre-release, because it was all, you get rankings off of it. Right. So we started hitting this so hard, and we between the three of us, I don't know how many boxes we walked out with on a weekly basis. We just had tons and tons of packs to open, tons of merchandise to open. And we did really well. We go to this Pro Tour qualifier after just binging on Magic for 9 months straight. Like, we were all, I don't know how we sustained relationships through this entire thing. Like, the girls actually came to some of the games with us. We don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know why.
I thought it was awesome whenever a chick showed up at one of the tournaments, for me.
Dude, it won you so much, just intimidation factor. Like, she's with me.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Yeah. We're going to go out and get dinner after this. Yeah. Like, so, make that play. Let's go. Let's go. So I don't know how we sustained this, because we were like, we would tell them like, we're going to be at this tournament for like, we're going to be here till like 2 a.m, like for real. Like, we're going to go out and do something big afterwards, like a big celebration, but we're going to be here for a long time. Right. And that's just the way it goes. And great girls stuck with us. I think the only one that remains is Kenneth's wife. Okay. Yeah. So sweet and tolerant of so many things.
Understanding. She stands by her man.
She gets his pursuits more than I've ever seen anyone get anything else in life. She understands.
Man, that's awesome though.
Yeah. Great. Congratulations, bud.
Yeah.
But we would go hit these tournaments, and that was life for 9 months. And then we go to this Pro Tour qualifier, and we high middled. Did very well for what we did. I mean, I think Brandon had guys approaching him to write features on his deck because he walked in with something completely unique. Right. And this was during Mirrodin block. So if you weren't Ravager Affinity, I went in with Red Deck Wins. Okay. And did very solid, did very well. And Kenneth, of course, did Ravager Affinity. Yeah. Because he knew that mechanic very well. But Brandon played this thing that he ended up calling Patriot games. That he developed the entire core of it. But it was all this rotating. It was Brandon trickiness. We're going to explain this in detail. I'm going to explain this in detail at some point during one of these podcasts, during one of the Tapcasts, because you have to know Brandon trickery. Mm-hmm. He has a completely unique approach to the game, but he had this whole thing about recycling trinkets. Okay. This whole mechanic about recycling like these either 0 or 1 cast little artifact bombs. Right. And it would completely lock down the Ravager Affinity game, and it would stall tooth and nail. It would stop aggro red. It stopped all these mechanics so well. And to go through all that and to just take immediate left turn at the fork in the road and go, I'm going to play this like weird off the wall deck. Like, dude, we have all the top decks. Like,
Right.
you're going to go with this? Like, you're not going to go tooth and nail? Like, we know tooth and nail is like 72% successful. Like, we had rankings,
Right.
spreadsheets, tons and tons of data. And he just takes a left turn. He's like, no, I'm going to play this. This is what I'm going to do. And did better than either of us did. So we go to this tournament and just like long hours, like loss of sleep, hitting the tournament scene so hard. And we walked out of there and we're like, dude, we're not even in like the last 5 rounds.
Right.
Like we just left, like we're leaving with nothing. Like we both looked down, we're like, we're holding like $600 worth of merchandise in our hands that bought us nothing.
Yeah.
And it rotates out in like a month. Like it's going to be worth nothing in this game in a month from now. So we're like, we should play poker. So that was the end of Magic. So I never got into, I think Kamigawa was the next block after that.
Yeah. That's pretty much where I ended it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't care for these, what is it? Ancient Japanese cards.
Yeah,
I was
Japanese stuff.
I was like, no, I don't like this. Because I had the Broodstar Affinity deck.
Yeah.
Is the one I
Yeah.
I loved that one. It was slower than Ravager. God.
But that's how that's when Neil got into it when we were practicing, when we were ramping up for that tournament, and I didn't really understand the obsessive mind that those guys have. Neil gets into it, then Kyle gets into it immediately afterwards, and they go to a card shop and just buy everything.
Yeah,
like it's everything.
Yeah, they bought like 6 boxes of all of their common, uncommon cards.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this box has like every common card in the game, right? I don't think maybe they didn't understand how far back the game went. Yeah. So there's like, okay, well, how much is that?
Yeah,
done.
Right.
Like we'll just take all of that, and like, oh, what's this next box? The uncommons? We'll take all those too. You mean that whole box cost what that one card costs?
Right.
Well, screw the glass case. We're going to go over here, and there's just a mountain of cards in that guest room closet. So I'm like, yeah, sorry to take a wild tangent through the history of how this all came to be.
Right.
But yeah, it's just like they have this deep obsessive mind with you got to catch them all.
Oh yeah,
you got to catch them all.
I mean, yeah, I think we all, me and the Bostick share that same mentality. If we're going to get into something, we're going to go crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, I know where that comes from because I grew up poor. So, now I have a little bit of money and I have some pocket change, and I'm like, yeah, I don't do anything half-assed anymore, man. I'm like, oh, we're gonna do that. That's what we want to do. Okay, yeah. Here's a couple of $100 here. Oh, I just dropped $1,000 at a con. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I don't do anything half-assed anymore. I just again, it's because I was poor, man. When I was growing up, I was like, I can't afford to do anything. My friends are going out. I'm at home with my parents.
Yeah, I grew up with a extremely strict budget. Yeah, I know what it's like to go to Fiesta to buy shirts.
Wow, you went to the expensive places.
Well, I mean that's when you couldn't, sometimes the airline flea market.
Yeah.
You couldn't go to like private school. They wouldn't let you come with like some dirty shirts on.
Right.
But yeah, I had stuff from the airline flea market too. What was the, I had, from the airline flea market, I had a pair of bootleg LA Gears.
Oh, nice.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was Gears. Like maybe 89, 90. I remember that clearly. Because it was kind of like close enough to the Nike Airs.
Right.
But it obviously was not the Nike Airs.
Oh, you remember the British Knights, the BKs?
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure, man.
I love those shoes.
I had those, I think maybe 2nd grade or 3rd grade.
Yeah. That's about the time to have them. The BKs, the LA Gears, and then there was Pumas were around the same time, and Adidas.
Could afford those.
Yeah, I couldn't afford.
Could afford those.
I couldn't afford the Pumas or the Adidas, but I had the BKs and I had the LA Gears. There was also another like knockoff, the Nike Pump shoes. There was a knockoff one that had an orange basketball on it, and it was so bad because like as soon as you got to like the 6th pump, it broke. It was over.
I thought I was balling because we managed to do this right. So my old neighborhood, Hardy and Little York,
Okay.
That's my old neighborhood. There used to be a, I think it wasn't a Walmart. It was like a, I can't remember what it was. It was like a Sears or something like that was there. But their shoe section, I got so lucky before the start of 6th grade. I think it was either 5th or 6th grade. I was there shoe shopping, and again, it's like, but we got to go to Payless. Can't go there. Like, Payless was like 3 stores down, but we were in the store anyway. And the guy was like, well, I've got this one that a customer returned. It was the Reebok pump. One of the shoes was broken.
Okay.
We got that for like 1/8 of the price.
Nice.
And I was like, yes. Like, the first thing everyone did first day of school, they're like, oh, let me hear it pump it up. And all you heard was the air coming out of the side of the shoe. And I'm like, it's a new feature. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It was the same thing like when the Nike Air, like 6 months in, when that seal broke, and every time you took a step, you just heard psh,
right.
Psh.
Yeah, for me, that's when my dad would say, well, that means they're finally broken in. So,
yeah.
You know, they're not brand new.
my Larry Johnson Converse React shoes, when the plastic on that wore out, and one day I looked down after recess, and I'm in my chair in class, and there's this green ooze running across the floor from my shoe.
Oh, wow.
Where you're like, I don't know if that's toxic. I don't know if I need to tell anybody about that. We're just going to let it, because there's like gack coming out of my shoe.
Right. I've been like, isn't this how Ninja Turtles started?
It's like, man, everything's going flubber. I know everything's going flubber any second now. Man, well, on that note, man, I think we're about to wrap this one up, man. But Etten Games, get out there, play some games. And look out for whoever may be there. You'll be there. You're on camera now, so show everyone your pretty face, and that way everyone knows. But yeah, check us out, Facebook, YouTube. Anything else you got going on, man?
Well, other than the free RPG, there's also a flea market for games.
Yeah.
Next Saturday. So yeah, that's pretty much it until Space City Con, man.
Yeah.
Once Space City Con hits, I'm pretty sure we're going to start talking about that a lot more.
Yeah. But what else? What else of that con you're looking forward to right now?
Man, well, I just found out that one of the girls, Scarston, is actually in Lost Girl. I'm starting to watch Lost Girl now. So
I need to start that show too. Yeah,
because I don't know. It's been like the last 2.5 years. So at every con almost, there's been somebody from Lost Girl.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm like, well, I've like seen the first 2 episodes like 4 times each, because I keep starting it, and then I'm like, it's a good show, but it just I can't watch it because my son's in the room, and you know, it's about a succubi who, you know, basically kills guys by making out with them, you know, and so I'm like, I can't watch this with my little man. Or
he's gotten a little bit older than Choo Choo.
Yeah, right. he does say kiss now and stuff like that, and yeah, my little man's awesome.
I loved playing Destiny so much back before I kind of like took a big layoff. Just to hear your son in the background, choo choo, choo choo.
Yeah, it's fun, man. Now when I'm playing Destiny, and he's sitting right next to me, so everybody can hear either Chuggington or Thomas the Train going off, because he's sitting there with his tablet watching it. And then when he gets to a scene that he feels that I need to be aware of, he will climb up on me, turn my head towards him, and he's like, train track, you know, or he'll be like, no, Tommy, no. So I mean, you know, I get to share. My son gets to share his, you know, his experiences with everybody as we're playing our games. And
I share. I share the experiences of your entire household whenever we play Destiny.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my household is nobody is aware of what I'm doing.
I logged in. What was it, last night or the night before? And I had no idea what I arrived into. I was gone for a while. My PS4 was on, and I saw that you sent an invite to hang out. I get into the voice chat, and I just hear like this very passionate conversation, and I had no idea who you were talking to. Like, honestly, I told you when we were playing the game, I thought you were talking to one of those talkback cat apps on like Android,
right?
Because I was like, well, that sounds way too high pitched, and it sounds like I couldn't make it out at first, but it turns out you were talking to your mom.
Oh yeah, yeah. Talking to my mom on
Yeah.
she's making plans for this weekend. You know,
And it wasn't like it was a short conversation either. Like, you guys went on for a while.
yeah. I kept on saying, "Yeah, Mom, I'm playing a video game right now. I'm playing," and she's like, "No. We're still having this conversation, whether you want to or not." You know.
And I haven't. It's that my only other knowledge of your mom is from the poker game.
Yeah.
Like forever ago.
Yeah.
Before I even really knew you.
Time.
Like
yeah. That was like 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a while back.
I knew you
Yeah.
a little bit,
Yeah.
but not on that level where I'm like, who is this shark at this game? You're like, oh, that's my mom.
Yeah.
Because she was like, man, she was serious. Very serious about that game.
she was. She was very mad that night too, because I don't know what happened between her and Monkey, because I walked out to go smoke a cigarette, and I go back in, and my mom's like pissed, like she's throwing her cards, and she's like, let's go. I'm like, whoa, what's happening here? Because I'm not done playing yet.
I don't know what happened. I was dying laughing because you guys were on the patio.
Yeah.
And everything Neil was doing to that patio door. That's all I was watching, and it was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
There were lots of body prints on that window after that 10 minutes.
Yeah, I feel bad for the experiences that door has gone through. I feel that charges should have been brought.
That was the first. That was the first time I'd ever been to either of the brothers' house.
Oh, really?
That was the first.
Okay.
Yeah, first time ever.
Okay.
So like I'm kind of cruising around. Yeah,
got the full experience.
I got the full experience. I mean, Neil and I were partners on a bunch of projects for maybe a year and a half, maybe a little bit longer leading up to that. But I'd never hung out with anybody outside of work. So the first time I'm hanging out with everybody, me and Monkey go, Kenneth.
Yeah.
We go over to the house for this poker game, and it's a stat. I didn't realize like there were just people in corners. There was like 30 people at this house.
Yeah, there was quite a few.
Every time someone came out, I'm like, huh? Like, is there another door here? Right. But yeah, that entire game was hilarious, and I don't know how that door didn't get broken. It was aggressive.
Yeah, it was.
But anyway, and I hope to maybe get some of these experiences with these other games soon. I mean, our night that we had Cards Against the Humanity.
Right.
I was hungover from laughing. It hurt a lot the next morning, and we definitely reset a few people's.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of people had had to reconnect with who they were afterwards. Redefine themselves. I think a couple of them found Jesus again.
Watching someone's face blue screen. Yeah. They hadn't even said what was on the card yet. Trevor, oh man, we're going to get him on the podcast sometime soon just because. But when he read that card, he hadn't said anything yet. He just read it to himself, and it clicked, and half of his face just fell off.
Right.
There are a few, I could say he definitely blue screened.
Yeah.
He just reset. It was
broke.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
For 15 minutes, he's in tears every time. He can't pick up the card, and he keeps trying to go to look at other cards, but he keeps making his way back around to that one, and again, just bing, and just face resets. But yeah, I want to do game nights with this entire group again sometime soon, because it's too much fun.
Yeah.
The amount of absurdity that happens.
Yeah. Once alcohol gets involved, and we're all relatively funny on our own when we're not drunk, but once a few shots are down, all bets are off at that point. So
blow where you need to. There's in time all will be revealed. This is just episode 8. We'll get to them. So yeah, I guess that's all for this episode, man.
All right. Yeah.
Good doing the podcast with you,
Most
bud.
definitely. Glad to be back. You guys have a good night.
All right. Until next time, guys.